It's having to do with the phenomenon of what they call bipolar disorder, and this is the same gateway crap as everything else in the DSM. But that's one of the things they were saying too early, and it's like, oh, lithium and all this stuff, but then they end up with antipsychotics just like everything else. And like, you read the book by Whitaker that has to do, it's called Mad in America. It says that what they're doing is they're burning out a part of the brain with Ritalin, and they can shut that part of the brain down. I speculate, and I've said before, that that is the part of the brain that can touch gamma brain waves. That's the, fast, 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 loud, loud, loud. And they shut down your ability to go to a party precisely because these psychiatrists actually adhere to Michael Savage. You shouldn't develop the ability to go to a party if you can't even be a waiter or a waitress, because you don't have fine motor skills. You're gonna have to have 5 people helping you in the trust fund so that you can enjoy living life and getting on airplanes and going to parties and being around people that are attractive, because you have that perfect picture part of your brain that knows what attractive is, and you won't be able to date and stew in your own filth and live in your own filth. I mean, some of you are so retarded, you should be living in a mental ward if you develop the ability to go into a bar, if you develop the ability to go into a nightclub and have fun with people and have a good time. Your life is going to be very costly because you're sucking everything and contributing nothing. Well, too bad, I'm going to suck everything and contribute nothing. So that's why they create these conditions, bipolar disorder. And what I speculate is that what that's actually tied to is cognition. And people have an innate sense of ability early, and when things start to go bad because everybody else's life trajectory is breaking away, they're going to go to college, they're going to have the wedding day, they're going to have the pictures on Instagram of the new house, the new car, the wedding day. They're going to have a beautiful wife. The woman's going to have an absolutely muscular, intelligent, tall husband for her, and it's going to be the kind of guy that he can pick her up and carry her. She's going to have to be the lap dogger. Sexually, and so and that's a symbol of that picture when the husband picks the bride up like that, and she's kind of shorter that way, is that I'm just along for the ride. He takes care of everything, and he's going to bend me over in doggy style and impregnate with more than 3 children, and he's going to pay for all of it. Well, that's nice. I'm glad. That's just the symbolism of it. It doesn't necessarily mean, but that's, okay, this is full compliance with patriarchy. The man is supposed to be taller, but if patriarchy, man can have what they want, macho, the man should also be able to have a woman that's 6'4", Amazonian. If a man can have what he wants, why doesn't he go for something bigger, something better like that? There's a lot of ways to look at things, but that condition is actually tied to that you kind of have a sense that you have variable cognition. And in my case, that's what it was. It's not that it was mood swings, it was cognition swings. So when I was, identified for this stuff early, it wasn't mood swings, it was cognition swings. And I had a deep connection to the importance of cognition because of the life trajectory that I wanted. It would have really eased my pain. So yeah, a lot of it is somatic. A lot of it is there's a actual deep pain associated with not being able to keep up with certain work. But there's this varsity blues backdoor. Don't worry about it, because you value the right things. Even if you're dumb, you're going to be able to be a campus rapist, and for 4 years, not touch any book work. And you'll get to go to all these classes, just hook up with women, take them to their dorm rooms, have sex with them. These are the elite women. We're going to take you to an incredible university to have sex with elite women. Don't worry about it, because you think correctly, because there's a unique issue with you, such as, your mom smoked crystal meth when she was pregnant with you, so there's a missing part of your brain, which is why you're split brain, and you think correctly, you have that perfect picture, and because you're the victim of fetal alcohol effects and syndrome, you're gonna, you shouldn't have to pay the price for something. Your mother was stupid, and so you're gonna have sex with these women even though you don't have the ability, and you're gonna even get to impregnate these women because your DNA is fine. So we're gonna hook you up with varsity blues in that sense. There's a lot you can do with varsity blues, but you're gonna do no book work, focus 100% on sex and partying in college. You're gonna go to a party school, and we're gonna get you strong before you get there, so you can have that sex with elite high IQ women that are vetted by SAT tests. It does correlate to intelligence, vetted by SAT tests. And I wouldn't have had these mood swings, these problems, as I'm thinking, my soul just sits me down and tells me, you're gonna get that pussy, you're gonna get that pussy. But as my cognition, and what I'm saying is that metabolically and energy-wise, yes, we have interesting brains. There's a concept, good days and bad days, but good minutes and bad minutes, because the brain reaches an ability, can't sustain it, crashes, and then that becomes like a mood swing. That becomes what the psychiatrist is saying, ability increases, that's mania. and then the crash, and then that's the manic depressive. No, it's in a lot of cases, and in my case, I think in all the cases with bipolar, it's cognition associated. It's not mood swings. It's not the person needs lithium. It's that the person can't be given an assurance that their variable ability, because they have weird brain chemistry, and then the brain can't sustain it, and then it crashes. They don't have the social conditions that you're still going to get that pussy, and so you have to medicate the person because that person's like, God, if I can't sustain that, I'm not going to get the pussy, and that was definitely the case with me. So the person has to be given that kind of a varsity blues promise, and sure enough, like I improved, if this is pre-college age, like I approved, if you don't do it for the person, they get sexually transmitted diseases. They get sexually transmitted diseases because these communities, especially the higher level universities, but even the mid-major universities, they're age appropriate. They go in at 18, they go at 19, or sometimes even earlier. The psychologist I had at Radford High School, her name was Teresa Cho. I wrote about her in my book, Once I Was a Reporter. She was actually admitted to UCLA at 15. So she was at UCLA at 15, and she was dorming there. And so these are very young people. And so if you go in there, and these, again, right there, that's what there is. So you have to be given the promise you're going to be able to do this. And so if you don't have that, it's all over. If you don't have that, it's all over. That it does. I don't have to deserve it. I don't have to meet the mark. That my parents are sin. Smoke crystal meth, sin. Miss the mark. Their fault, not your fault. Your penis still gets to have expression in beautiful college women, and we're gonna get you to party schools to do it. Don't worry about it. We're gonna get you strong, but you don't have to deserve it. You do deserve it. You're gonna have it, and then that bipolar disorder goes away because my cognition is variable. Doesn't matter. Run around, get ready to go to parties. It doesn't matter. You're still gonna have sex with elite women. You're not gonna have to be stuck in concentration camps like these poor areas of non-elite women. You're gonna marry into elite family. You're gonna be tied to these incredibly well-connected, intelligent, wealthy people. You're gonna break into wealth. You don't have to worry about deserving and having a brain that can become an engineer, that can become a journalist even. That's too low level. You're never going to break in that way. Someone should have sat me down and told me that.